So this video is over Pythagorean theorem word problems. This is going to be our last set of notes for this unit. Later this week, you also have a quiz assigned that has 10 questions. 2 of them will be word problems, okay? If you aren't able to print this paper off, that's fine, but go ahead and take notes on a piece of notebook paper. Those will be extremely helpful for you. All right, so the Pythagorean theorem formula, just a few reminders, is a squared plus b squared equals c squared, where a and b are the legs. Remember, those form the 90-degree angle. C is the hypotenuse, and it's the longest side length. That's going to be important to remember on some of these word problems. Always round your answer to the nearest tenth. So if it doesn't come out to be a whole number, you should have one number past the decimal, but you need to make sure you round correctly. All right, so on these word problems, we're going to always draw a picture. That will make it a lot easier, okay? Everyone knows what a right triangle looks like, so it's easier to draw yourself a picture on these. So it says the legs of a right triangle. So we're going to go ahead and draw our right triangle. The legs, we know, form the 90-degree angle, and they are 6 and 3, okay? Then it says find the missing side length. So that means the missing side length that we're looking for is the hypotenuse, since it's across from the 90-degree angle. So we're going to go ahead and set up our formula. 3 squared plus 6 squared equals c squared. 3 squared is 9. 6 squared is 36. 36 plus 9 is 45. To get that squared off of the c, we have to do the inverse, which is square rooting. Make sure you do it to both sides. So we square root 45. We get 6.70. Look to the number behind the tenths place, so that 0 tells me to keep the 7 the same. So my final answer is C equals 6.7. Only put in one number past the decimal, but make sure you round correctly. All right, number 2 says 2 side lengths, so we don't know what they are yet, which ones they are, of a right triangle measure 5 centimeters and 9 centimeters. And then it goes on to say, find the missing leg. So one of the legs is missing. So that means one of the 2 numbers that they gave us, either 5 or 9, has to be the hypotenuse. Remember when I said earlier that remembering that the hypotenuse is the longest is going to be helpful, and that's for this problem. If we have 5 and 9, we need the longest one, so the bigger one, to be the hypotenuse. So that makes the hypotenuse 9 centimeters. Since legs can be interchanged, we're just going to label one of them with the 5 centimeters, and we're going to find the second one. So we have 5 squared plus b squared equals 9 squared. 25. 9 squared is 81. We have to subtract the 25 to the other side because we're trying to get the b by itself, so it's kind of an equation. B squared equals 56. Square root to get that squared off the b and get the b by itself. It does not come out to be a perfect whole number, so we get 7.48. Always write down 2 places past the decimal. That'll be helpful to you. The 4 is in the tenths place. So we have to decide, are we going to keep it a 4 or are we going to have to round it up to a 5? So you always look at the number behind it. That 8 tells me to round any number up. So instead of leaving it at 7.4, we're going to round up to 7.5. And since these had a unit measurement on there, we have to label. So 7.5 centimeters. All right. Number 3. Number 3 says the longest side length. Ooh, we know which one's the longest side length, so that has to be C. The longest side length measures 21 inches. So I'm going to draw my triangle. The longest side is 21 inches, so I'm going to go ahead and label that. If a second side length measures 14, then what's the missing side length? So the two that we don't have labeled right now are legs. So it doesn't matter where I put the 14 inches. I'm going to solve for the other leg. So we use our formula, a squared plus 14 squared equals 21 squared. 14 squared is 196. 21 squared is 441. Have to subtract the 96 to the other side. Get 245. Square root both sides. So we have a equals 15.65. So the 6 is in the tens place. We're going to need to decide whether or not to leave this 6 a 6 or round it up to 7. So if we look at the hundredths place, that 5 tells us to round up. So our final answer is going to be 15.7 inches. All right, last one. The side lengths of a rectangular room. Okay, so now this time we have to draw a rectangle. So let's draw a rectangle. And it said the side lengths are 5 feet and 12 feet. So 5 feet, 12 feet. It says the room's going to be split in half along the hypotenuse of a triangle. So we have to form a triangle. So that means the diagonal here. Using string. So this is going to be our piece of string. It says find the length of the piece of string. So this is what they want to know. Since this forms a 90-degree angle in the corners, our unknown is our hypotenuse. So 5 squared plus 12 squared equals c squared. 5 squared is 25. 12 squared is 144. Add those together, we get 169 equals c squared. Square root both sides to get the c by itself. This one does come out to be a whole number, so c is equal to 13 feet. All right, make sure that you guys use your notes and draw yourself a picture as you go through the practice problems. There are going to be 4 of them. And then there will be 2 word problems on your quiz that is linked on Wednesday. If you have any questions as you're working through the word problem practice, please email me. I can walk through problems with you via email. If you have any questions about anything, let me know. I'm happy to help. I hope you guys are staying safe.